another amazing day at fmtraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I will be your broadcast engineer for today. I'm here with the wonderful Nick Hunter. There he is. Nick is a truly fantastic FileMaker developer who really knows how to push FileMaker to its absolute limit. We have had a lot of many UI, UX courses with him, which he's fantastic at, and he's covered a ton of other topics. We are currently working on reports. Speaking of which, let me pull up the training schedule. We are doing Build Extreme Reports with FileMaker Day 3 today. We have Build Extreme Reports with FileMaker Day 4, 5, 6, and 7 next week. Nick is doing me a favor and doing 4 days next week. Friday is going to be Open FileMaker Server Q&A with Jacob Taylor. So if you've got your server questions, now would be the time to bring them up. If you'd like to support the channel, we'd greatly appreciate it. We have our FM Training annual subscription bundle, which 100 plus hours of really high energy video training content. Basically, if you're like, I really like these live streams, but I think I find they're like not covering the subjects I want to know, or I really need to start from the beginning. This is a great way to do that. You can go from not knowing anything about FileMaker to being a competent developer in your own right, I promise. With that being said, I think we're good. Nick, what are we doing today?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for the introduction, Marge, as usual. Thank you for joining in today, everybody. So today is the day 3 of these 9 days, right? But we do, I try to do that every day, something that you can watch and learn something, right? So today is the 3rd day, and we are going to do something like I wanted to do a demonstration of something, and somebody suggested something, and so I combined both, right? So the suggestion was how to export from one file in FileMaker on the server and import back in another file on server, okay? And I want to do the demo of doing something similar, but without 2 files. But 2 files is more fun, okay? I mean, for me, for everybody, I don't know. So yeah, it will be fun. So the goal is to have 2 files, okay, on the same server. Okay, I'm not putting the difficulty too far, but we have 2 files on the same server. I'm going to export things and immediately import things, the data, in another file, okay? So how we do that? So in order to do that, we need to interconnect both files together, right? And at the same time, we are going to have a communication between 2 files via scripts, right? And at the same time, I'm going to refresh your mind about the infamous card style window that has very peculiar behavior in that case. And it's a good demonstration, right? So let's do it. So let's start sharing. So do I have everything? Quit. My emails and no, this I need. Good. Okay. So we have 2 files. Okay, so I keep my screen a little bit bigger because I have 2 files. So if it's too small, you guys, I will be dancing with the windows all the time. So we have 2 files here. Okay, one file named Teachers Converted. Okay, because it was kind of a file I generated with 20,000 records. Okay, 20,000. And here we have this import test that we have here, right? So 2 files. So I'm going to here I have a teacher table where I have 0, right? Records, right? So what I want to do something like this. Okay. I have my 20,000 records here, and I want to transfer the teacher, right, to the other file, right? So that will take like a minute to do that, but it's not just transfer, importing. I'm doing plenty of stuff. You remember yesterday I showed you. that I'm doing a lot of post-process, right? I'm doing a lot of post-process. So now he's doing the processing. The export import already happened, okay? So now he's doing the post-process on 20,000 files, records. And you will see that I won't have to talk much before it stops. It takes a minute and a half, even less, depending on how the server is responding, okay? But it won't take much longer. Okay, done. Okay, so here I have this stuff here that tells you, okay, 0.95 minutes, so less than a minute. It took to export data, 20,000 records that I have here. I can show you. I have 20,000 records. Before I had nothing, right? Now I have 20,000. And to export from one file, import to another file, do all the post process, right? So, and I have a spare time for lunch, right? So, so how is it possible to make something that's fast? Okay, because everything happened on server. Nothing happened locally. Not the import, not the export, not the import, and not the post process. Everything happened on server. So, but you notice something. So this is something, you notice that I never left that window here. Okay, I never left it. So I can even hide this guy. Is there, right? But it's hidden. But the import test is hidden. I'm hiding it. So it's not on my screen anymore. Okay? It's not on my screen. So I do it again. Strike again the same button. Okay? So I put, so on those layouts, I have put here the name of the file that is, so I'm not cheating. I put the file name. This is the command to get the file name, right? So I'm not cheating. So this is the name of the file that I put there. So you will see the name of the file. So I press teacher. Here I am in teacher converted. So I am in that, and now here I am in import test, right? So I changed file. So here now it shows in that window, but the card style window is showing a layout that is from another file. And I didn't see anything. So that's the beauty of the card style window, because it lets me do something like this. So you can easily interact between 2 files, 3 files, 4 files, give the sense that you are, the impression that you are in the same file, but you're not, right? So that is the beauty of the card style window, and that's why I'm using that technique a lot. So now, that being said, so we wait the minutes of post-process, okay? So now I can go there, and you will see that now I have 40,000, right? And here, 1 minute, right? So that is the time to, it's the time to export, import, post-process, right? So I try to do it locally, not using, exporting locally on the client, importing on the client, and doing. And I force quit because it was like 40 minutes, and I said, okay, and it didn't even finish the half the importing. So I said, okay, I'm done, because we are 20,000 records. So somebody told me yesterday what the benefits of doing that on server. Okay, so something you need to know. It's yesterday I was doing that. I was doing the demo with 200 records. So when we do a demo with 200 records, here what happened. it takes 15 seconds to do something, and it takes 30 seconds to do the same thing locally. So the demo is not like, it's not, it's, big deal, big deal. But when you have 20,000 records, right, it's exponential. It's exponential. That means what takes a minute on the server take an hour locally, right? It's exponential, okay? So that's why I decided to do that demo with 20,000 records. So what happened here? So first of all, what we need to do, we need to build a connection between two files. For that, we know to do that, you add a new, external data source. So we just need one connection from the source file to the target file. That's all. I need a connection from that file to the other one. I don't need to have the same on the other side. I don't need that. Okay. So here, now that we have the connection between two files, okay, we have access to two things. First, when we perform a script, we have access to the current file, right? So that means the teacher converted, and to the other file. That means I can, from this file here, I can trigger a script that is on the other side, right? Very important. So we can ask that file here, do something on the other side, on the other file, do something. Right? We have also access to the layouts, right? So, but only, right? Hold on. Here, transfer. So we have also access to the layout, but in one way. So only one way, and I'm going to show you. So here I'm starting to, you remember, here we have two problems we need to solve. The first is we're going to export the data. So we need to know where we are going to export the data. And we need to know where is the files. That's the first problem we need to solve. So the second problem is how I'm going to retrieve those records. When I'm going to import them, right, I need to retrieve them. I need to find them in the middle of all the current record I have in that table, right? And we learned yesterday and the day before that we cannot count on just a tag, a one tag or whatever timestamp or whatever. That don't work. So we need to use the technique I teach you yesterday about the session. We have a session, okay, a session ID. That means an ID that I'm going to generate before I do anything. I keep in memory, and then I'm going to create records with that ID in one field. Then I can retrieve them. So here I'm saying, okay, this is my ID. This is the ID I'm going to use in all that process. So I'm generating that upfront. That will be the ID for that session. Each time you click the button transfer, you have a new ID coming because this will generate a new ID. Then I'm using that for the timing stuff, but we know that. Then I'm putting a message, because I wanted to show you this. We can have a custom message on the layout, right? So that easy, we merge a global. So I have a global and I say, okay, exporting teacher on server, okay? Then I create a new window, a caster window using that display layout. So this window here, I pop it, I put a message and say, okay, what the hell are you doing? I'm telling people what I'm doing. I don't leave you users with a spinning wheel like for minutes because they think your stuff is broke, it's crashed, right? Then we learned that yesterday I saw a conversation on Discord that this is to refresh, to force FileMaker to display the message, because when you open a window, a cursor window especially, and you go and you do something right away, sometimes he said it's blank. Okay. So that force FileMaker refresh doesn't work. That is not a data refresh, it's a display refresh. So it's something, the refresh window won't do anything. And then here, until then, I am in this current file. I am locally. And then I said, perform that for me on server. Perform that for me on server. Okay. So what this do? Very simple. I take the ID, this session ID. I build the path. Okay. I build the path. So this is the way I'm building path. Okay, let me explain. So first of all, I have a very nice custom function that tells me if it's a file Mac, a file Win, a file. So you will see that because I have a Unix server. Jacob Taylor used me as a tester, right? It's like for COVID, right? He used me as a test. So here I'm triggering this on my computer. So that's why it says file Mac. On Windows, you will say file Win, and on Unix, it says file. Okay. Then you have the path where wherever you want the file to be exported, the temporary folder, and then I'm naming the file. And it's an internal file. It's not something you're going to give to a customer. So, and I want to name a different name all the time. So I use a UUID to get a different name all the time, and then I add CSV at the end. So this here gets me this. But this here, remember, this here I perform on server. So the path I will have will happen on server. So I won't have file Mac, Macintosh, HDS. No, I will have the path of the server, which is file, TMP, and the name of the file. Okay, because FileMaker has a temporary folder very specific on FileMaker on server, right? So I have the path, I have the session ID, and then here I'm exporting the records. Here, I'm exporting the record because I have one table in that file, and I want to export all records, right? That's what I want to do. I want to export all the records, so that export records. Just this, very simple. Export records. Then at that point, I am on server. This is on server. On server, you remember I told you, don't perform script on server because that won't work. Perform scripts. So I'm performing scripts on the server. On that script perform on server, I'm performing on the script. But this script has a particularity. Yes, it has. I'm performing this script, right? So just for refresh your mind, that file here on server is now open on server. Okay, so when you perform a script on server, the server opened that file, convert, teach it convert, And from this file, I'm performing a script on my other file. Yes, the external data source works from one file to another, even on server, right? So here I said, I am teacher converted, but I want you to perform a script that is on the other side, on the other file. And by the way, you will need the path I just used to export and the session ID, right? Because the session ID I generated here, and on the other side, I will need it in order to create records with that ID, right? Because I want to control that. So this script here is on the other file. So here we have two script workspace, right? We have this script workspace on the teacher and this script workspace under import test. And I want this script to be performed. Import data from server. So I'm still on server. So the FileMakers, so this file, the teacher converted, will open on server the other file and execute that script, right? And then I'm collecting the two major information I need, which is the path and the session ID, right? I'm going to the teacher layout because this is where I want to import stuff. And I am importing the data using the path where is located the file that this script exported. I have it because I'm sending, I create the path, I export using that path, I send to the other file the path, and then it can import from that path. There's no problem here. And the path here has the location and the name because I generate the name here, right? So when I'm here, I did pretty much all the work and I could have stopped it. I could have stopped there, right? So, so this, I'm here. All of this here, this stuff here, and this stuff here happen when I launch this one. So this launched this, and inside this on server, I perform this, that performed this. Okay? So far, so good. Do we have questions before we continue?
What are the considerations when deciding to export then import versus importing directly from the FMP12 file?
First of all, because I never tried this to import directly. I don't like to do that. By the way, even locally, it's you have a found set problem. It's not as comfortable as doing this. It's not as comfortable. This is comfortable. This is you master it. Even locally, I don't like to do that. Tell me, guys, if I'm the only one uncomfortable with importing from one file to another, unless I have no choice. But with FileMaker, right, directly from FileMaker. But here mostly it was for the demo, right? So I want to show something, right? So, but yeah, and I don't. I think FileMaker blocked something on doing something like this. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't remember. So, but I'm doing that all the time. I export and import because the time you saw how many time it took to export 20,000 records is like a click. So time-wise, is you don't save anything, and you give yourself a lot of hard time. So, other question?
Um, I think you're good, actually. I
Okay,
don't have
I'm good.
anything else.
Okay. So now, so that's easy. So that means I export. So so everything performance server, and when I do this, I export and I import. Okay. So far so good. And here, so everything happened until this. Everything happened here. So now where it start to be a little bit hairy, it's now. Okay, it's now. Okay. So because everything here, it's a normal stuff, when we hear. So let me, so we here, we did this. So let's debug it. We here, we have a new window in that file. So I'm in teacher converted. I perform the script on server. That means export and import. So then, okay, this is just import. See what I mean? I don't know who asked the question. I'm done. Okay, export and import in 20,000 records. I'm done. I don't know if you saw it, and so I can go until there. So let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again to have the duration. Okay. So I'm doing this, and I'm launching. Okay. So how long it takes to arrive at the duration here? Boom. So now I have the duration. Duration 9,000. So it takes 9 seconds. 9,000 milliseconds. So 9 seconds to export 20,000 records and import 20,000 records. 9 seconds. So doing the directly stuff and stuff like that, you might save like a half second or 1 second, but it's insignificant compared to the benefits of doing this. Okay, so that's what I want to show you. So because we saw that this do the export import, right? So now everything is interesting to see in this script here. So this script here, from that file, I'm asking to perform a script, but not on server. And at that time, I'm not on server. I'm local. And I ask display from server. So I'm asking to do this script. Okay. This script I want from that file, but is on the other file. So let's do it. Okay. So perform. So export, import, so everything. So the duration, see, 8 seconds, right? To export and import 20,000 records. And here we have that infamous script that is, I am on teacher and I'm asking the import test to do something for me. But I have a particularity. So everything I'm doing right now, I am on the other file. This is a script that is on the other file. But I'm asking to pop a cald star window from that file here. And that window appears on that file, but display a layout that is on the other file. While continuing to perform the scripts on the other file. So now it shows on this file, but it's not. It's this window here, and I can prove it, if you don't trust me. Get file name, import test. Not cheating. I'm not in the teacher converted. Okay? You remember, I just imported 20,000 records, so I want those 20,000 records, right? If I do, and I prove it to you, if I do a found count here, I have 100,000 records because I imported multiple times, right? But now, if I do this, I have 20,000 records. So I got back my 20,000 records. And I can prove it something to you. This is this is a session ID that I have generated at the beginning, and it's because it's the variable. But if I'm going to here, if I'm looking, the IDF import session, it's the same because I imported records and I said I want that ID automatically on all the records I just imported. Okay. So yes, those 20,000 records are the 27,000 records that belongs to that session. Okay. Then I'm setting another parameter because now that I have this, I am on that file. Here I'm local. Everything else is local. So searching 20,000 records is like a click, right? So I'm saying, okay, this is a session ID again. This is a number of records I have, right? Because now I need those information and the previous duration, how long it took to arrive at that point. Okay, I mean the import export, right? And then I'm performing another script locally, right? And what I'm doing here, I'm collecting information again. I'm going to all the information I need for the post-processing. Okay, so I'm collecting the current user, the current timestamp, the current script name, the new session ID that comes from the parameter, the number of records that comes from the parameter, and the previous duration that comes from the parameter. Now I have a new parameter because I'm going to perform a script on server. So that means all of what I'm showing right now was local. But so the complexity here to understand is that everything got launched by that button. The first, we did a back and forth like this from the server. We go to the server, we come back. Then we go to the other file and we ask the other file, by the way, go to retrieve those information, show the 20,000 record, collect some information I need to collect, and then now you perform this on server, okay? You perform this on server, and you do the post-processing like I asked you to do, So it's exactly the same post-processing that I'm demonstrating yesterday to you. That's why I use that script, because it's the same script that I used yesterday, okay? So now we process this script here, right? That will take a minute, right? And we have the whole process done, right? So if you guys didn't get something or at the moment to talk, right? Because this is what I want to demonstrate, how we import, export thing on server. Yeah.
The issue is there's not really no questions, but people are kind of curious as to how this relates to reports
Yeah. Okay.
from like
Because
a
we need
big
to.
like overall standpoint.
Yeah, it's because it's a report. You import data, and you build a report out of data you imported. So I wanted to make this. Yeah, I could have, that's why I have the first week talking about this, but it was under, yeah, I could have separated. To me, it's kind of related because all those techniques here, we are going to use them in building the report because we don't want the report to happen locally. We want the report to happen. What's the name? We want the report to happen, on server because otherwise your report take 2 hours to make the report, right? So, and we are going to use all those techniques here, the import, and all those things. We are going to use that, and the post processing on server, and the trigger thing, and the relookup. We are going to use all of this. So if I don't, teach you this up front, if I lend to you, say, oh, this is a report, right? So that's why to me when I say report, as I said at the beginning, it's not a report like a nice PDF or nicely done with a sub summaries and a header and a footer. No, it's not that kind of report. It's kind of report that you export to Excel, right? So it's not the same type of reporting. It's a report, Excel report, right? It's not a nice stuff reporting stuff. But maybe I should have cut that into section, but I don't know. Yeah. So here so if we don't have any questions, that will be a early end.
We do have actually another question. How
Yeah.
does the card window switch to the second file while you are still in the first file?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I knew that was puzzling people. Okay. CalStar window is a window. Okay. But it's a window that has a particularity. It needs to pop within a window. Okay. So it needs a window to pop. Otherwise, it cannot pop, cannot show. So it works exactly like if I open a new window. But if I said, for example, if I'm going there, transfer, right? I'm doing this here, and I'm going there, and instead of a new window car style, I'm doing a window regular, right? Regular. So new window, regular window, not a car style window, okay? So let's do it. So, okay, this is a car style window. We do this. So now I'm doing a new window. Boom. So I have a new window here. Okay. So it's a new window. So it's the same, right? Right. I'm there, but it's not a car style. It's a window. So the car style window. Do I have a close? Oh, I'm stuck now. Yeah, it's okay. I can. Oh, by the way, a good trick. I don't have the button to close the window, right? So I can just create a script with a close window script step and close the window. Boom. When you stuck, that's why always in all my development, I have on the script a close window here, right? To close the window to make sure that I can. So a window, a CalStar window works like a window. It's open a window and show the dialogue and show, but because it's a card style, it's very, very peculiar. When you say new window, right? When you say new window as a card style, it will pop on the current window you're in. So on any window, it will pop. The window you have up front, that will pop in, right? As a new window, like any window, right? But because when you ask this, okay, so let's do something. Let's do something. We have some time. I say new window, and the layout I want this one, okay? So this is a new window, okay? And I'm here, I'm in this file. And I'm saying open new window in the other file, okay? I'm performing a script on the other file, which is new window. So I'm here, and I'm performing a script on the other file, and you pop a new window here, right? That's it. It pops, it says, it goes to the other file, say open a window, pretty much. I can even say, for example, on the import test here, I can go there, right? And I can say new window, new record, for example, and set fields, the title, hello, okay? So this script here belongs to that file here, but I'm performing that script. It's a script here in the teacher file that says on this one to do something. So look what happened. Bam. I have a new record on that file, hello. Right? And you open a new window. So this is how you can, from one file to another, do something, right? You can ask another file to do something from one file and vice versa. So you can interact like this, right? The particularity of the card style window, as I said, is that the new window will pop on the current window you're in, whatever file you are in. So if I'm here and I say new window, card style window, it will pop, So I can do the demo, by the way, or I close the file, or I can just do this. It will open the file. Okay. If I say here in that file, if I set this window to be a card style window, right? And I perform this, and I'm here, I perform this, it happened here. It's a card style window in that file, right? So this is how it works, right? So it gives you so now that you know to play with this, and we have Marge, I think we have a webinar. I did 2 or 3 days on card style window.
You did. I can go find it.
Yeah. So this is very interesting. Okay, it's very interesting because I'm using that a lot. Sometimes you have benefits of having 2 files or multiple files, right? So especially when you do heavy export, import. Oh, by the way, why I'm doing the import export demo while reporting is because the idea of this webinar came to me working for a customer that asked me to import gazillions of records and build report out of this, right? That's why it came to me the idea of this, right? You understand? Okay. So, and I'm going to mix match multiple things, but so sometimes it's interesting to have multiple files, especially when you do importations. If you do importation, That means you import file, you import records, right? And then you import records, and then you want to treat those information. You want to process this information, and then out of this processing, you want to export to create a report with Excel. Okay, so I don't know. You import like 2 million people, right? And you want to know how many males, how many females, how many, how many in this country, how many in this country, how much you pay them, you want stuff. Okay, so you want to post process stuff like this, right? So that's why I mix both, the import, export stuff and the reporting, right? So, but it's interesting sometimes to have multiple files because that allows you to manage better, the import, the export, right? Um, I have a configuration where um, we have people are importing from many sources, okay? Many sources. So they have multiple FileMaker files like this where they import things from different sources in multiple files, multiple FileMaker files, right? And but at the end, because we export everything on server, we can say on the main file, import, 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 import like this. But the source is clear. We have each file where they import is a FileMaker file, not a table. It's a FileMaker file with one table. So it's a flat file. It's much faster. It's much faster to do that way in order to avoid having a huge inflated big files. You understand? You have many small files. So you import, 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 but at the end of the day, right? Thanks to that technique here, we can have one button, say, okay, export everything I need, import everything I need, and then treat the information. Okay? So this is the thing we need to, So they import, CSVs and stuff like that, Excel and stuff like that, right? So they import on those temporary files like this, and then they export, and sometimes you can have a comfort of working where you can export, import in one table, temporary, treat, re-export, re-import, because it's not, for example, when you want to move data from one table to another, I saw people using this loops stuff and stuff. But if you do that on 2 million records, you can go on vacation like 2 weeks and come back. And when you will come back, your FileMaker file will be crashed because it cannot handle this. It's not made for that, right? When you export, import, you've seen with 200,000 records, it takes like 8 seconds, right? So do we have any questions? So sorry guys, by the way, sorry guys if I misled you, but to me, in my mind, it was fine to talk about export, import stuff like this because it's part of, when I say reporting, it's not like, a nice, what's the name, PDF, no, this is not another type of reporting, or what's the name, big data reporting, let's say.
Not
Yeah.
misleading. I just didn't get the connection. Thank you for explaining.
Okay. Yeah.
Could you open a new window from a card style window?
No. Yes, but not a car style. Ha. Okay, that's good. The good one. Okay. You cannot open. You can when you have a car style window. So let's do it. Okay. Let's do it. I open a car style window, right? And then I say a new window, normal, not a card. using another layout, right? Like this, right? So I open a card, I do some stuff, and I open a new window, okay? From here, bam, bam. So I have my card style window, right? This is, I know it's hard to see, but it's a card style window. I have my card style window, and I have another window. So that's okay. That's okay. That's fine, you know? So let's do something else. Let's use that's this here. Don't do this. So I'm opening a card and then I'm opening. Okay, so let's debug it. New window, card style, and new window, not card style. This is okay. So we can open, when I have a window like this, when I have a card style window, I can open everything but a card. So I can open a floating document, right? So this one, that's a floating, something that stays always on top. And I can open a dialog. This one, this is a dialog, something that cannot get out, right? But here, if I say another card, it will say no. With a weird message, by the way. Okay. It say no. I can't, I didn't see any message, but normally you have an error. Okay, yeah, it shows. Command is unavailable. So I know that a weird message FileMaker, right? For example, wrong operating system of mode. Okay, so it's, it doesn't explain, but you have an error. You have an error free here. The command is unavailable. So that means you cannot display it. So you cannot open a car style within a car style, right? So now I never tried something. Let's have fun. We have 5 minutes. Never tried this, and you gave me the one, the. So let's go. Select the window, and I want to select this one, teacher converted. Teachers converted. Let's see if I can open a window on that file and go back to the other file and open a window. That will be fun. This is how I learn, by the way, doing crazy thing like this. So I open a file, yeah, but no. So go to import test. Yeah, and open a file, open a window here. So here, I have a CASA window here. Then I go there, and I'm opening a new CASA. Yeah, it works. So you can open. So you can open one card style per window. That means when a window is displaying a card style, you cannot open a new one on top, which would have been cool, by the way. But you can open one card per window open. I don't know if that's clear for you guys, but it's possible to manage this, not to have one window showing a card style, and open another window and show another card style. You can do that, but you cannot stack two card style or even show a card style side by side. That would have been awesome. Can you imagine that you can have two card styles side by side or four card style like this? Can you imagine this? Or I will have a lot of fun with this. Claris, if you listen, that's a good idea to be able to open multiple card style like this.
Um,
Good. Yeah.
Ken said, I've tried this multiple times, and that's the weird thing. No message, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, you have a message, but you have no message. Okay, you have no dialogue that said, you cannot do that, right? You don't have it. But if you debug it, you have an error. You have an error I just show it, you know. So let's deactivate this. So you have an error. If you look there, the thing here, new window, no error, new window, error free. You have a free error. So you have an error here. But you're right. You have no popping message like, you cannot do that or you cannot do this, right? So it's the same error, by the way. It's the same error if you try to do something like this. It's the same error. Okay, so if you try to perform script on server, if you want to perform script on server, if the file is not on server, it's the same error. Boom, error free. That means the command is not available in the mode you are, So because where you are is not, they should I don't know, they should rephrase this a little bit, because but it's the same error when you want to perform a script on server on a file that is not on server, that's the error you get, So the same error as this one, that you cannot do that, right? So the command is not available, and you have a bunch of error like this when you deal with FileMaker Go, right? Because on Go you have plenty of stuff that's not working, and yeah, they should. I don't know if they should have kind of like a pop-up, like something we can say, like a set error capture, right? We should have a message saying, okay, we should have a message. Okay, this mode is not working, and you have this on and off that you can say, is that on? We don't see the dialog, for example, right? But you're right, because it took me sometimes to understand what's going on because it's not obvious, the script debugger stuff is not obvious, and that's why I'm glad of the question because I can, explain that. So now
Okay,
Yep.
that help? Yeah, people are like saying multiple card style windows, each in its own context. That would be great.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome because I can see how I can use that. because on the the cast window you can do a lot of things. By the way, something I'm going to I sent to you for the next stuff. I sent to you on Slack. Did you get it?
I did. I just got the thumbnails completed for it too.
Yeah, so we have a webinar coming sometime, I don't know when. We talk about
Very end of January.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the burger. So I can give you a sneak peek on this. Let me pause this a little bit because I cannot show you the name of the guy. But it's that would be something, another application of the card style window, and I want to log in here. So I want to show you, but I cannot show you the entire software. Don't have the right. Okay, so something like this. So we're going to display. So this is the card style window, right? So we're going to display this. So we're going to explain how this works, right? And this is a card style, and we can play with this. Okay, see what I mean? it shows like it goes, it expand like this. This is a card style doing this, right? So how to position card style and how to move this, because we can move a window, we can resize the window. So we can resize the card style without the card, so we can play with this. And this would be cool because this is fully navigational with a arrow key, right? And if I strike spacebar, this grayed out, and now I'm navigating here. Here I navigate here. Here I navigate here with the arrow key. So we're going to explain how to use that or how to build that. Everything is built on records. Even the separation is a record. And I have something like this, when I'm there, I'm going there. Tac, tac, tac. I'm skipping that a record in a portal, but it doesn't show like this. So we're going to learn how to build this, right? So that will be fun. So that will be another card style application. So that's what I'm saying. If you give me the ability to open multiple card style on the window, I will play with that a lot.
And that will be very awesome. What
Yep.
about what about a new webinar about navigation?
That is something. So what? Okay, give me ideas. That's a good thing because I have I'm running out not of ideas. I'm running out of things cool because running out. It's 2 years now that I'm covering that every day pretty much. So now I'm making stuff like very specific, like the report, like the bot, like But yeah, so what do you explain by navigation? What do you mean by navigation?
Dimok, what do you mean by navigation? I'm gonna look.
Yeah, what do you yeah.
You got time? He's typing. So, also, if anyone else has like any like Nick requests, now would be the time to make them.
Yeah, or you can email us at support at because for example, I don't remember who. Oh, it's Michel Gravel from Canada. He asked for the multi-language file. He asked for the multi-language file, and I made it, and a pretty good one, because you can translate. A guy told to me, he said, "Okay, you saved me like 6 months of work." He contacted me on LinkedIn. He said, "With this video, the multi-language, I saved him 6 months of work because he got something like 6,000 like strings, and a ton of money, by the way, because he wanted to translate this in 7 language. All these application translate in 7 language. He wanted to send that to somebody to do the translation and come back and stuff like that, and build other thing. With the technique of the API, you get the translation clicking a button. He said, I made that in half an hour, half a day. So I'm doing good stuff sometimes. So
I'd like a Nick makeover session. Oh, wait, okay, I'll do Dimok first. The difference between 2020 and what I see now for the first time with double navigations. They want you to break down in depth the navigation between FMSP 2020 and FMSP 2020.
Yes, yeah, okay. Is that a good topic? I love the topic because navigation is always a big mess. It's not just a FileMaker stuff. Look, sometime we visit website and we say, "Oh my gosh, where am I? Where am I?" Like Kaiser. I'm at Kaiser. Each time I'm going at Kaiser, I have I'm hyperventilating because say I don't understand how we can make something complicated when you can make it simple, right? It's this navigation but it's because you have different sites, different webs, different servers, and different teams, and different time of building. Something is more modern, something has more from another time. So you have two navigation overlapping. But on FileMaker, we have the same problem sometimes. Sometimes you want to modernize your navigation, but you cannot because you say, okay, I don't want to spend 6 months and wait 6 months until my new navigation to be ready, right? Okay. That's why so it's a good topic. So I can come with this, how to build a navigation with multiple level, because you have the big navigation navigation and you have the small navigation, right? But the technique I'm going to show you on the so we can start with the burger, and then I'm going to have the following one will be the navigation, how to build a navigation. Okay, but what you guys can do, if you want, you don't have to, no obligation. Send me some of your files without data. Send me even if they're ugly. Don't worry. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. But if you give me some stuff, I can say, okay, let's build. I'm going to pick one or two, and I say, okay, let's make a navigation for that, right? Let's how I can see the navigation, right? But to me, the best navigation is not having one. So that means let's the data to come. Let's make the data to come to the user instead of the user to go to the data, right? You know what I mean? So the best navigation is not having one, but it's very hard. It's very hard. It's not the FileMaker stuff. It's a website. Sometimes we use app on the phone. They are a big mess. We lost. So okay, yeah, that's a good topic. So that will be the next one. I'm going to write something, Marge, for you.
Okay, cool. Real quick, also kind of related. Related. I'd like to see a Nick makeover session, like users submit a file and then Nick does a 1-day review or makeover, basically, where you actually take the file and go like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is.
That will be awesome. That I love to do this. I did last time I did a demo like this. I was still a FileMaker, and the demo I did was with FMSP.
Oh, I remember this. I remember this because I think I remember hearing from my dad about how embarrassed he was. He's like, "Oh no, oh my goodness."
I pretty much destroyed FMSP, but don't get it wrong. I mean, I did a extreme makeover offer again. So we are chit-chatting now. Okay, we are chit-chatting.
Yeah.
So I did an extreme makeover, and maybe I can just unshare my screen and just show my face, my pretty face. Okay. So I did an extreme makeover of the guy. I saw the double hamburger like this, and he has a face. He had a polo, a client polo. Okay, a client polo. And his client polo, when I saw it, I said, okay, oh my gosh, how I applaud the people that were using this, but the guy is not his fault, because you can't invent those things. You need to know them, otherwise you cannot come with something. And that's the problem of design.
Mm-hmm.
Problem of design is this. So don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed, because okay, I have no what's the name? I have nothing to be proud of. I went to the school and learned. So it's like treating your plumber as a god. Okay, I know you. Okay, plumber is not. He's a god. But I don't know the mechanic and stuff like that. So it's job. Changing a tire, you don't know to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the guy is doing for you. Okay, thank you. Here's the money. Bye. Okay, so it's my job, right? So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, and don't be ashamed. I'm trying to be nicer. That FMSP, I was a little bad. I remember. I was hard. But it was to demonstrate the new one that I built, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it's no, yeah. Send me some files, and maybe I will take 1, 2, and we can do a week on this, a makeover, right?
Yeah, like do multiple files.
And we can do new, and that's something I want to do. We can do session like this. Oh, for example, oh, I have this. It's slow. It crashes. It doesn't work. How to fix it? A workflow, something like this, right? So yeah, I love to do that, right? Send me the file, and then I can think a little bit before to start like this. But for the makeover, I love it, because that can be a good teaching moment for everybody. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Yeah. So send us without data, okay? Send us your file and I will pick up one or two or three, you know, depending how long you want me to. I can take 1 week, one, two, another week, another one. If I see, look, here what we can do. If I'm seeing interest in many of them, I can say 1 week one, another week another, and another week another. If I see things like this, right? And you will be surprised how, and that's something maybe that will convince people to just call us RCC and say, okay, hey, you know what? I have this file, make it pretty, make it easy to because you will be very surprised that you can get a very completely different file without changing many things, without changing data, without changing calculation, without, you know. So that, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. I love it. I love it. Thank you, guys. So we good?
I think we are good. Yes. So let me.
So next week, report.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, guys.
Thank you, everybody. All right. Thanks, Nick. We will see you shortly.
Yes. Have a good weekend.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir!